Hey, Matthew Swinnerton here, and welcome to the Santa Cruz Works Flash Tour. Our series we've been doing, I think we're on the fourth one. We have a couple more that we have scheduled. Go to santacruzworks.org to see our schedule. Okay, let's start off with a question. We have five questions. So, who are you and what do you do at Gazelle?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Tina Butler, and I'm the marketing manager here at Gazelle North America. And so we are a B2B brand right now. So a lot of my marketing efforts are focused primarily on our retailer network. So we have an increasingly large retailer network spread across both the United States and Canada. And so a big part of our work is really supporting them, making sure they've got lots of Gazelle gear, branded bike displays, that they've got all the tools to be trained up on our bikes and super knowledgeable, because we all know e-bikes are a little bit more complex than a standard bicycle. So making sure they're familiar with the motor systems, any kind of unique other elements that they need to be trained up on to really provide the best service to match the quality of these bikes. And I also arrange photo shoots. So it's great to be in Santa Cruz in such a beautiful environment where we are just shooting in such a photogenic place. Lots of hills.
Amazing. Yeah.
So it's super fun recruiting people to ride our beautiful bikes, making print materials, SEO, a lot of the other standard stuff. But yeah, there's that missing component of the direct customer relationship that is replaced really nicely with our great retailer relationships.
Great.
So, yeah.
Now, Gazelle is definitely not a starter. Can you give us it's been 125 years?
Yeah, to these pictures back here. That's our original factory in Deeren. So we were established in 1892 by two gentlemen. They initially started off importing bikes from England, but quickly got hooked on making their own product. So in 1902, they actually began production on Gazelle bicycles. And we all know the 1900s were a big period of industrial boom. All kinds of different revolutions were taking place, and one of them in particular was the bicycle revolution. And so kind of helped shape cycling culture in the Netherlands, which it's renowned for today. In 1937, they actually made the first e-bike, or produced the first e-bike in partnership with Philips, which is another iconic Dutch brand. It was 110 pounds. Its top speed was 11 miles an hour, and it took a full day to charge. So our bikes are definitely a little bit lighter now. I mean, they're still not featherweights, but yeah, definitely there's been a lot of innovation in that. And in 1992, we got awarded the Royal Dutch designation, which is a very special royal designation awarded by the monarchy. So this was Princess Margriet in 1992 in honor of our 100th anniversary. And there's a bunch of things that go into having this royal title, but you've got to be at least 100 years old. You have to kind of be an exemplar in your vertical. So there's only one Royal Dutch bicycle company, and Gazelle has that crown. You have to follow like all the exceed basically all the industrial manufacturing standards, protocols, etc. So you have to really be the leader in your field. So we're very proud of that. And it's 129 years later, and we're making bikes. We came to the US in 2017, and we've seen a lot of great growth there, but definitely a household name in Europe, and becoming hopefully more of a household name here. So yeah, it's super exciting.
Okay, so let me ask you question number 3. What is a traditional Dutch bike, and how do modern e-bikes fit into that framework?
Yeah, great question. So we have a couple of Dutch bikes here in front of us, so I'll just do my Vienna White impression. So yeah, in the Netherlands, bicycling is so embedded with the culture. It's really not, it helps you do nearly every aspect of daily life. So with that in mind, there's sort of key characteristics that is shared across most traditional Dutch bikes. The first thing you'll notice is it's a low step or step-through frame. They call it a omofiets in the Netherlands, which means a grandma bike, but honestly, anybody can ride this bike with pride. You do not have to be a grandma. It makes it super approachable, super easy to get on the bike. We've got a low center of gravity, makes it a lot more stable on the road, especially if you've got a heavier load cargo, like you've got a pannier full of stuff, or you've got a child seat on the back. It really makes it more accessible. And then one thing that lends itself with this low set frame is if I'm actually sitting on it, I'm going to be sitting at about a 90-degree angle, very comfortable, and it also makes me very visible to other people because I'm sitting up a lot taller. So I find when I'm sitting in traffic, on my head is the same height as someone in a truck. So they see me, makes me feel a lot more safe. And also because you're looking up, your sight line is naturally extended. So visibility is better for both as a rider and for the rider, which is great. We also have all kinds of stuff shouldn't have faced this way.
We have time, you can turn. Yeah.
So we know the weather isn't perfect in Holland, and that can actually be the same here as well. So we basically have a bunch of different accessories that come standard on these bikes that kind of protect the rider and the bike from the elements. So you've got front and rear fenders. You've got a covered chain guard, so that you're not going to have grease and gunk kind of rubbing on your clothing. You have integrated rear rack. Sometimes you also have a thing called a skirt guard, which would be up here, but we didn't go that hardcore. It's more Victorian era. But it basically allows the rider, they say this in Holland, that the Dutch really dress for their destination, not for the ride. So you can wear your normal clothing and not worry that it's going to get eaten up by your bike or have stuff splashed up onto you. Also, we have all the accessories so that you can like get all your life stuff done. So we have an integrated rack, super sturdy, 60-pound weight capacity.
Wow.
You can clip all your nice bags to it. Integrated front and rear lighting. So if I turn this on, you've got a really nice headlight and then really nice tail light. And it's got these cutouts. It also makes you visible from the side. So when a car is approaching a bike at night, it's really dangerous because they don't get that rear light. So this actually opens it up and makes it visible. A reflector, of course. And very iconic, you've got your Dutch bell, let people know you're coming in a nice way. So yeah, those are some of the kind of key components. And then obviously this is an e-bike, a little more futuristic. Some things are happening here, like this black thing is actually covering up a beautiful battery from Bosch. And then of course now the bike's facing the wrong way. But trust me when I say on this side, there's a very nice Bosch active line motor that's delivering up to 50 Newton meters of torque with a very robust set of torque sensors and technology that is beyond my complete understanding. Anyway, oh, and actually I forgot one of the best parts. So this is a rear hub lock. This comes on Dutch bikes a lot of times, also known as a cafe lock. And it basically locks, puts a bar through your rear wheel. So if you want to quickly dash in somewhere, it essentially immobilizes your bike. So someone wants to opportunistically try to run away with your bike, they're running away with about 60 pounds of dead weight and a wheel that won't turn.
Oh, wow.
So this is probably one of my favorite features,
Yeah.
which I love. So bridging the gap back to where the e-bike fits into the whole traditional Dutch thing.
Yeah.
So the Netherlands are famously flat. A lot of the US, a lot of Canada are not.
Yeah.
So we sought to kind of preserve the essence and all the traditional components of these bikes, but really increase access to more people. Whether you have potentially mobility issues and the idea of like swinging your leg over is not going to be feasible, or if you are intimidated by hills, intimidated by being able to keep up with traffic or keep up with a family member, the motor really helps neutralize a lot of the obstacles that keep people from getting on a bike, whether they've never done it or it's been since childhood. So we just love that this kind of increases more access for people.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so fourth question. Why did Gazelle choose Santa Cruz as its North American home?
Yeah.
I can't wait to find out why.
So in addition to the fact that we have some sister companies that are owned by our larger parent company, so Santa Cruz Bicycles, Juliana Bicycles, and Cervelo we're in really great company having these as sister brands, and there's some efficiencies that come with kind of the co-location and sharing of resources, and they all happen to be here. It's just a wonderful place to be. We love the outdoors. We love the mountain and kind of sea lifestyle. There's an amazing playground from like the bike paths, including the rail trail, which is like in our backyard. I think it starts maybe 200 feet that direction, which is awesome. It's just a great place to play with this product. And then we also just love the community. You know, with maybe I'm thinking about New Tech Meetup right now, top of mind, but right? We know this is a community that is full of early adopters and people that really embrace change and new ideas or iterations of great ideas that become even better. So it felt like our customers are here, the people that will appreciate this product are here. There's this tension between innovation, but also heritage and things that stick around, enduring design. So we think it's just like a great marriage of all those things. And Santa Cruz kind of embodies that as well. So
we're super glad that you're here. What is next? What's next for Gazelle?
Yeah. So in terms of bikes, we have 2 more models that we're introducing this year. One will be a speed bike or a class 3, so that's pedal assist up to 28 miles an hour. Can't say too much about it, but we have a new one coming. We're super excited. I just got the DHL shipping invoice that it's actually coming.
Oh,
So
cool.
finally. And then we also have an entry-level bike that's actually really well suited to urban dwellers, has a little bit lower range, but very accessible price point. And we're super excited to share that with folks as well. But in addition to that, we're also always looking for opportunities to support our mission, which is selfishly getting more people on bikes. And
That's not a bad mission.
yeah, we think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, figure out wherever we can partner with local organizations and larger bodies to get more people onto bikes and kind of experiencing just the joy of being on two wheels, and not just as like a super sporty, aggressive thing, but like as a car replacement or as a way to transport your kids, or which is kind of the same thing as a car replacement. But either way, just like realizing like biking doesn't have to be elitist. Everybody can do it. And there's all types of bikes and they all have value. So one thing in particular we're excited about is the e-bike act that was just introduced by.
Can you tell us about that?
I can. I like wrote some bullet points, but let's see. So it's Jimmy Panetta. He's in Carmel Valley, so pretty close by. It's a 30%, I think, tax rebate. So it's up to $1,500. It's valid for any new bike under e-bike under $8,000. So this covers like really quality bikes.
30% off is huge.
Yeah. So it's an actual refund. It's flat. So basically, even if you're a lower income worker, you get a direct rebate, which is great. And what I really like about it is people are like, well, that's $8,000 bike. Who buys that? We don't actually have any like that in our fleet. But what I like is that it actually encourages people to invest in a more quality bike that's actually going to perform reliably and kind of just give you more. Like, don't just buy the cheapest bike.
This one's going to last.
Yeah, one that's going to last. And so we're really excited about it. We hope that it gets people to consider making that investment in something that'll change their life. So I can share some information on how to get involved. People for Bikes has an action page where you can say like, I support this, and it goes to your local representative.
Great. Well, we'll put the links at the bottom of this video for that. Well, I think it's time to actually see this bike in action.
Okay.
So we have our cameraman, Erickson, who is an avid bike rider.
Great.
But he is going to try it out. So is this the one we're going to?
Well, we'll take this one out for moral support, but actually
Okay.
I'm going to queue it up in the hallway.
Okay.
So yeah, for anybody who's not familiar with this building, I'm sure you're probably seen it in things. This is the Wrigley building or old gun factory, and I think the novelty of being able to ride a bike in a hallway is pretty cool. So we probably, I don't know how other people in the office feel about it, but we have some fun. So yeah, this is the bike we're gonna have, I think, Doug on. And this is the Ultimate C380. This is one of our newest bikes. It came out in October of last year. And it's, again, traditional low step frame, slightly sportier than the Arroyo Elite, which is my bike. It's internal hub, and I don't know how dorky you want me to go in on the details here. I think we should just get on it and ride it.
Sure.
And then if you have questions, you can ask me.
Let's do it. Okay.
And I did raise the seat, sorry, Doug. Oh, I did put the helm on. Don't steal it. Part of my hazing process.
We did not allow Doug to steal the bike.
See ya. And he's off. I don't even know if he has the power on.
But I mean, that shows instantly he has not rode this bike before.
Yeah.
And it's totally easy to get on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe you lost the bike forever. Maybe, okay, he's good. He's coming back. I thought he was gonna.
I think the next innovation will be some kind of app where I can, remotely turn off the bike if it.
Exactly.
Oh boy, he's coming in hot.
Yeah.
Super nice.
I think this is actually where we lose them. Yeah. Good. He's coming back.
Do you even have it turned on?
Yeah.
Okay. What level of assistance are you on? Oh, okay.
Went through the gears.
Oh, boy.
I didn't get it turned on, but very nice.
Nice. Okay, so if you have any questions for Tina, please put it in the Q&A. We're going to actually run back over to the office and look at your questions and ask them for Tina. So
The only drawback of being in this building is there's a very kind of increasingly decrepit freight elevator
Yeah.
that we have to work with, and we have very limited usage rights, so we end up carrying our bags up the stairs sometimes, which is good exercise.
Okay.
I know the drill.
So let's go look at your questions here. Okay, so first one, I'll let you put that there. First one, this is always a big one. What's the price range?
Yeah, good question. So right now, our price range is $24.99 to $39.99. And so we've got a total of 8 models in our fleet. So they kind of break down from that range. And usually with price for e-bikes, the further you go up. So the same central components are always there. We work with Bosch, an amazing partner, another iconic 100-plus-year-old brand, really high quality. So we use their integrated battery and motor systems. And so when you are at the lower end, you get like a little bit less range. So it's less, a lower capacity battery. So like 400 watt hour versus 500 watt hour. Also the integration. So for entry level bike, you've got the battery actually in the rear rack as opposed to the big body. Not a huge difference, but it reduces the weight capacity on the rear rack a little bit because you don't want to mush the battery. And then you're maybe trading about 10 miles of range, depending on what support level you're using. And then you also get a more powerful motor when you go up the price range. So you also get more torque, basically, as you're doing the measurement for power. And so this is a speed bike or class 3. Pedal systems up to 28 miles an hour. So for that, you're getting the Bosch Performance speed motor. It's a little heavier and again, also a little more pricey, but you can go up super steep hills. And then also some of the components are a little different. So this is our more sporty family. So like the rubber grips. This is more of our luxury family, relaxing. So you've got the leather grips.
Okay.
So it's things like that can affect price. There's also more with like 4-piston brakes for the speed bikes versus 2-piston brakes for the more relaxed city bikes. I could nerd out on this stuff all day, but yeah, there's a scale, and there's really hopefully like for everyone. And they're all mid-drive motors, so really well rated, low center of gravity, super efficient. And even if you don't think you have enough power, you do.
You know what I love about that? I mean, you're talking about all the functionalities, but they just look beautiful. I mean,
Yeah,
when you show, like,
it looks like real bikes. It doesn't look like, it doesn't scream like on an e-bike like
no,
some of the other ones do that are pretty aggressive.
in a way, it's a very well designed work of art. Okay, so next question here. Okay, kind of like, we saw Doug, he was on the bike. If you're not Doug and you can't go here and actually ride the bike, where can we test drive or buy a Gazelle?
Yes, great question. So we have an amazing retail partner here in town, Current e-bikes. They are at the bottom of Pacific, so closer to the beach end of Pacific. Okay. They usually in non-COVID times have a rental business as well, so you can experience stuff. But right now, I think they are open for business. Definitely call them before just showing up for a test ride to see what their current kind of retail practices are. They're an amazing partner. And then further afield in the Bay Area, I think we have probably about 25 shops. We recently got placed in Mike's Bikes, which has 12 locations across kind of the extended Bay Area from Los Gatos all the way up to Folsom and Sacramento. So no shortage of good options, but Current is wonderful.
Okay, you got that. Current e-bikes. Okay, next one. How has the pandemic, bike boom, and overall supply chain issues affected Gazelle?
Yeah, so we definitely have felt some pressure, very similar to other bike brands. I think where we've been lucky as Gazelle. So we operate in 10 countries, and every country has their own unique set of specifications for the bikes. So when it's time to actually make bikes for the US and Canada, like we get the whole production line. So early in the pandemic, fortunately, we were scheduled on the calendar where all of our bikes were coming off en masse. So we didn't really experience much of a pinch in the initial pandemic, like a lot of brands who were trying to serve a bunch of people and regions at the same time. Where we recently felt a little bit of pain has been in the port congestion that's happened. So I don't know if you've seen pictures of Long Beach, but there's just these lines of boats coming in, and they're just waiting their turn to actually get to the dock and get their cargo unloaded. So we had a few delays in the fall and a little bit into the winter, but in general, it's been pretty good. And it's so exciting just to see people wanting bikes and seeing more people and all kinds of people out on the road.
Yeah,
so
that's been great.
We're working through it.
Okay, next question. How long does the battery last and how fast do the bikes go?
Yes. Okay. So to kind of cover that a little bit, but basically this is a class 1 bike and this is a class 3 bike. There's 3 classes designated in the US. So class 1 is pedal assist to 20 miles an hour. So if your bike reaches that speed, the motor will just cut out. So you stop getting help. It won't like automatically turn on the brakes or anything if you're on a downhill. So like my bike can go, as fast as it wants because it's got extra mass, but I'm not going to get any help from the motor. Class 3 is pedal assist to 28 miles an hour. These actually aren't available in Canada, so this is just a US thing. And then the bike that's missing is class 2, which is also is also assistance up to 20 miles an hour, but has a throttle. So it's basically like a very low-powered motorcycle that you could also pedal if you wanted. So we're kind of cycling purists in that we always think you should be pedaling to enjoy the ride, so we don't offer any in class 2. And then with the battery, it depends on your level of support that you're using. So if you're using higher levels of support, it will drop from the battery more quickly. Other factors are how much weight is on the bike, like are you carrying a lot of cargo? Are you on really hilly terrain? Is there a headwind? So there's a lot of tools out there, but there's actually the Bosch Range Assistant tool where you can actually plug in your weight, your standard cargo, your general routes, and you can get pretty scientific about your range. But there's also displayed on the display, you can see your odometer, you can see how many miles you have left based on your level of support that you're using. So you get a lot of information at hand that can help you plan your ride.
I would like to give, this is Doug, I'd like to give a real world example to Santa Cruzians. We have a Gazelle bike, my wife and I, and we rode from the west side down to Costco, down to the beginning of Emma McCrary, up Emma McCrary to the university, all the way to Twin Gates, then down to Wilder Ranch, did the Wilder loop, and then back to the west side. 1/4 of a battery is all it took. 1/4.
And he's doing it on admittedly wider than average than like a road bike, but like city rated tires. So well done, Doug.
Nice. Okay, next question here. Do you have any bikes with a throttle?
No, we don't. Yeah, that one is the class 2. So
Okay.
yeah, that's basically where you could just sit and I don't actually know how fully how throttle works. I always think of like a motorboat, but yeah, basically it's a switch that you do and then the bike just goes for you. But
Okay.
yeah, no. And I can mention that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you see this? Okay, so this is like a different.
We'll have to do another flash tour when we have more of these bikes.
Yeah.
So this is another.
Yeah, I'll get while you talk. Yeah.
All right. So this is the Urban Aero. It's another Dutch brand. They're about 10 years old, so they have quite a bit more history to make. But this is a purpose-built e-cargo bike. They also use the Bosch e-bike system on their bikes. And we are the new distributor of the family bike, which is the bike that you see there. So it's a front loader style with an EPP, super insulated, super safe foam box carrier to carry your kids, to carry your gear. And since it's purpose built as an e-bike, it kind of avoids a lot of the pitfalls of traditional brands that had made cargo bikes and then kind of stuck a motor on. Everything with this design was built around what's optimal for the specific use case. So we're super excited to add them to the family. And we're basically helping our existing Gazelle dealers kind of bring on this new bike.
Great, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've kind of covered some of the questions. I'm going to put 2 of these questions together. So
Okay.
One person said, how do you get involved with working with e-bikes? And then another question is Gazelle hiring?
Okay.
So
how do you get involved working with e-bikes?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends on what capacity. Like if you're a bike mechanic, it's probably a little bit easier of a path. I personally don't have a background in bikes. I have sort of lifetime e-commerce, but some of the e-commerce companies I worked with is sort of a similar customer to Gazelle, and not bringing in just hardcore bike people, but opening bikes to more people. So depending on your experience, depending on what roles are open, I'd say it's not too hard. We definitely are growing, which is super exciting. We have some big plans coming up over the next year and beyond. So it could be easy to work with e-bikes soon. And we actually are hiring right now. We're looking for a warehouse sort of coordinator / bike mechanic. And then I'm actually going to be posting a new art marketing role as well. It's not live on the website yet, but that should be coming up in the next 1 to 2 weeks. So,
great.
Yeah.
So of course you can always go to your website, find out information. Santa Cruz Works we actually, in our newsletter, we always have new jobs. So, but as soon as that's posted, it will be in our newsletter. So make sure you're following our newsletter. I think that was it.
Yeah.
That was very well covered. Thank you so much for having us.
Wait, one last trivia question.
okay.
What are these?
Okay,
They look cool.
Doug really wants to know what these are.
That is our strop waffle, which is I don't remember the exact history. I think they had those some leftover pastry scraps and they put them like in a waffle press with some caramel and they kind of made this new iconic dessert, which is enjoyed by many people. So yeah, it's 2 thin waffles or wafers with a caramel layer. And like the pro move apparently is you have your cup of coffee and you take out one of your little circles of sugar, and you put it right on top of the coffee mug, and then the steam warms it and gets it hot and ready for you.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are actually for you guys. I pulled out 2 boxes so you can go make different bad choices later.
I'm
Oh
so
my
glad she's
God.
actually giving that to us, because I was gonna say, Doug, let's go. and
Let's
take
go.
it.
I mean, it's COVID. You touched it, it's yours.
Okay,
Oh,
that's,
okay.
that's true. Okay, well, thank you so much, Tina. If you missed any portion of this presentation, just go back to our website, santacruzworks.org. It will be up on Thursday. Thank you so much, Tina.
You're so welcome.
And again, lastly, if they want to find out more information about Gazelle, where do they go?
Gazellebikes.com. And then if you want to nerd out on the e-bike act, I mean, you can just ask Google. The URL for People for Bikes, unfortunately, is kind of long and awkward to say out loud, but maybe we can share the link later.
Yeah, we definitely will. Or again, if you want to ride one in person here in Santa Cruz.
Current e-bikes on Pacific.
Great. Okay. You guys have a great day. Goodbye.